you back me, I'll do it. How's that?
So out the back of the race control in the paddock here, you'll see one of the beautiful Ferrari Challenge cars out on display. This is actually a rental. You can use this, you can compete as part of it. And to prove it to you, you can see here some of the scrutiny stickers. The other side has the Bathurst 12-hour. This has the Speed Series as well. This was racing as recently as, what does that say? Does that say 2026? 2025, there you go.
Very recently.
Very recently.
This is the current spec of the 296 Challenge car, and yeah, so basically MC Corsa that runs this car, they've just explained to me that often they have drivers come in, they rent the seat for the weekend and they get the full experience. They get the engineers, they get everyone helping them, fresh tyres, you name it. So yeah, as much as I would love to have a go,
do we get a media discount or anything like that?
We can try.
We'll try.
You did say before if we do a story on it, we might be able to, so yeah.
I think that's slightly different to the coffee
maybe,
that we did before. Let's have a look at some of the cars behind us. Here's another one just here as we swing around. I know our poor cameraman's got to deal with me pointing everywhere, but that's what happens when you're at a Ferrari festival. There is so much to see every single angle.
Oh, where do you look? It's so hard to know. Look, there's a great mix of older cars here, so if you are here today, come and have a look at the back of the pit complex. Got everything from the Dino through to Portofino, 360, 458, you name it. It is like a roll call of Ferraris, and yeah, just gorgeous to see these things in the skin. And
we're getting a bit of the evolution of shape throughout this as well. You were talking about the throwback. Well, this is the original, isn't it?
Yeah.
Of that retro style. It's a beautiful car. I've seen a number of these over the journey that have been done up. One that really stood out for me was an Indonesian man that was heavily involved in the Pro Car Series back in early 2000s, Meher El Gadri.
Okay.
Had a beautiful black Dino. It was magnifique.
Nice. Well, this one's for sale.
Well, there you go. Everything's for sale at the moment, isn't it? No, beautiful car here. It's also, look how well presented it is as well. I mean, just the attention to detail, amazing. So, you know, credit to all of the owners of these vehicles and the work they've put in to present their cars in the best possible light.
Yeah, I mean, Ferrari, we often talk about engineering, we talk about performance, but for me, I just get lost in the tiny details, the depth of the paint, the quality of the Italian leather there as well. It is just mind-boggling stuff.
Let's go for a quick walk. There's a few more. We've got to get through a couple. We're going to find some driver coaches later.
Yep.
But have you got a favourite? I mean, we've got the top down over the back here. There's so many different styles to love. Have you got a favourite?
There is. I mean, for me, all-time favourite's probably the 458 Italiano. I think it's, for me, you know, it's the last of the breed, naturally aspirated V8. It sounded amazing. I was fortunate enough to drive one many years ago. So if I was to pick one, I don't know if there's actually one here of the Italia, but that's the one for me. What about you?
Oh, I'm old school, mate. Remember, I'm a bit older than you. So I think back to a track day when I was a younger man and I was still racing, and a Ferrari F40 GT with flames belching out of the back of it. John Bow trying to get a handle on this car for the owner at the time. And I'd always loved one. I had the posters of the F40 when I was a kid. You know, there was your various different posters you had on the walls. But to see one in the flesh, the proper GT racing version, just a fire-breathing dragon, it was amazing. So I really don't think I can top it. I know that's kind of like saying, you know, LeBron James or Michael Jordan in the greatest of all time, but it's got to be right in the conversation.
Yeah, but even I just like, there's something about every one of these cars here that will strike a chord. So if you're here, come on down and check out these cars. They're pretty special.
Mi piace essere passeggero zero. Piove pure, quindi è perfetto per da passeggero. Mi piace molto di più il feeling con l'acceleratore, no? Perché senti che c'hai sempre la potenza ma non ti sorprende mai.
I primi 6 mesi sono stati tutti sul torque shaping e sulla compensazione della perdita di risposta legata all'aumento di potenza. Quindi fondamentalmente abbiamo più prestazione dal motore ma lo stesso tempo di risposta sull'attacco pedale.
E io finché non mi fermi vado.
Tanta roba, i freni, il cambio di direzione, il modo in cui quando recuperi la macchina hai anche meno strada da fare per andare a riprenderla.
Sì, sì, senti in comfort anche quando spingi.
Ciao Anto.
Ciao, com'è?
Bene, te?
Bene, grazie. Com'è?
Sei pronto?
Proviamo, dai.
1050, è la macchina più potente da gamma. che Ferrari ha fatto. Andiamo?
Dai.
Bella, ma vedrai, hanno fatto un lavoro cioè sul telaio sembra, perché è super reattiva.
Reattiva, sì. Pure il sound è tanta roba.
Sì. E dopo ti dà anche tanta fiducia. Ma adesso tocca a te.
Siamo divertiti.
Lui si è divertito un po' meno.
L'assetto molto stabile, anche se comunque c'è tanta potenza, cioè quanti 1050 cavalli, però quando vai sul gas comunque ti dà sicurezza, non hai la sensazione di perderla. Grande. Sono curioso di vederla adesso.
Nel suo stile, lo stile purtroppo è camuffato perché siamo ancora...
Però sì, sicuramente andremo insieme. Sono curioso del posteriore perché sembra aggressivo.
È nuovo e aggressivo, è un posteriore così non l'abbiamo mai fatto, quindi
infatti.
è coerente col DNA che senti guidando la macchina, quando la vedi poi la guidi, è tutto coerente.
This thing is quick. It's so fast. This is the fastest road car I've ever been in.
Hello!
Yeah.
How are you?
What's that?
Come to be
Having car.
pilot.
You're driving me? Oh shoot! All right, let's do it.
I was waiting for you.
Let's do it.
Ciao a tutti. So are you ready, LH?
Yeah. This is nice. It's fast. Holy crap. Wow. Okay, I gotta order me one of these. It drives so nice.
I'll let you drive it.
No, you keep driving.
No, drive it. I want you to enjoy this beauty. Oh yes. Sexy sound. I hated your button. Wow, the brake is unbelievable.
Brake's really good.
I hate it. I hate it.
This thing is quick.
It's so fast.
This is the fastest road car I've ever been in.
Look at that. There are some fans. Hello. Ciao.
Ciao.
Very nice.
Sheesh.
But I've got a headache. I was trying and be nice with you.
What do you mean? I was
not pushing too much, not trying. He went flat out. We were saying how light the car feels. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like the turning is so good, so reactive.
This is the fastest road car Ferrari's done, for sure.
In terms of balance, I think it's the best car ever.
I've never driven anything like that on the road. Yeah, this is another level. We doing a lap?
Yes, of course.
Oh God, let's see the ready. It's got good downforce as well, huh? I like it. What color are you getting?
Full black.
It's definitely a very cool car. Very futuristic, you know? Yeah.
Ciao a tutti. Ciao. Grazie.
Grazie. Thanks so much.
Hello and welcome to what has been a beautiful day here at Queensland Raceway for Ferrari Festival Queensland. But the clouds have started to roll in now. There will be no rain, but there will be action aplenty on track ahead of round number 4 for the Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli. I'm Cameron Vanden Dungen. Sam Charlwood will be joining me throughout the coverage, and we have a race on our hands today because practice was close, qualifying was close, and racing is going to be fast and frenetic.
Absolutely, Cam. Queensland has turned it on. Ferrari has turned it on. We've got thousands of people here in attendance today, and it promises to be a fantastic race.
Now, Sam Charlwood will talk to the drivers and some of the driver coaches in the meantime, but what I love about the Ferrari Festival is we've got wonderful activations. It is an all-team effort from Ferrari, and we've got Filippo Zanier, who's the sporting and business development manager for Ferrari Challenge. He's been all over the world, but we're talking about Ferrari in Australia. Filippo, you must be proud of what you've seen on show this weekend so far.
Absolutely. It's incredible to be here for the second time with the Ferrari Festival. You know, we did Sydney last year, was an amazing success, and today Queensland has come out for us, Brisbane has come out for us, more than 2,000 people on track. So we are so happy and so thankful for the enthusiasm. And as you said, we have a wonderful race that is awaiting us. Qualifying was tight. We have nice fights in Pirelli and in Shell, so we are all looking forward to it.
What are you expecting from this race? It was so tight in qualifying, as you said. Who are you expecting to shine?
Look, there was the lap times were tight, but the tyre strategy was not, in the sense that we have a couple of drivers who really paid a lot of attention of using less the tyres, so making less laps. Is the case, for example, for Steve Wyatt. He only did 6 laps in quali, so he has tyres that are way fresher than the other competitors. I'm pretty curious to see how that will turn out for the race.
I know you want to get amongst all the people on the grid as well, but I do have one question for you. These cars are immaculate. There's a lot of horsepower there. This is just, you must be rolling this out around the world. It's just a wonderful driver development tool for GT racing, isn't it? It's got a very key position in that trajectory of a driver.
Well, just to give you an example, Niklas Nielsen, that is our factory drivers now with the 499P in Le Mans and a Le Mans winner, he started out in Ferrari Challenge. He was a Ferrari Challenge champion before becoming factory GT driver and then now factory hypercar driver. So this is the best example for us. This really is a driver development platform, and we are very, very happy about the results that we are getting.
We'll let you get back amongst it, and I think we should get amongst it as well. Absolutely. Sam Charlwood, should we go on a journey?
Let's go on a journey, Cam. Let's do it. I think we should start right here at pole position. We've got Damien Hamilton, who has been really impressive all weekend. Damien, hello. Fastest in practice, fastest in qualifying as well. Pretty dream start for you.
Yeah, definitely dream start. Really happy with that, but there's really only one bit that counts for today, so that's today's business.
Yeah. What are the thoughts here? We've got a 30-minute race plus 1 lap. What's your strategy?
Just try and establish track position and manage the race from there. So focus on the start, get the start right.
And what is it about this 296 Challenge car that works so well for you here at Queensland Raceway?
I think it really stands on its brakes really well, and then you can really get a good hard brake in a turn, and it's got good stability with the aero through 1 and 2, so it just allows you to push the car towards its limit.
Yeah, it's great to get your thoughts so close to the race. Good luck.
Thank you.
Cam, over to you.
Yeah, he's running away. Steve White was going to talk to me. One of our he wants to talk to the pole man. He's working with a driver on the front and the back row as well. This is the other driver that's been in contention. He's been quick all weekend. He was exceptionally quick at the Ferrari Festival last year. Enzo Cheng, we've just spoken to the pole sitter as well. The feeling is very much critical to get to turn 1 first.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be a 4-way fight for the lead, so you know the plan is to get ahead and stay ahead.
We saw a lot of sun, a lot of UV exposure on the track earlier. The wind was higher than what we're feeling now. It's almost like a different racetrack in terms of condition. How are you setting this car up? How have you set yourself up for an almost completely different, I guess you'd say, ambience out there?
Yeah, I think quali was quite hot, and I think, you know, I thought we would have seen a bit more 8s in quali, but being midday, I think we just didn't get the grip we wanted. But now that it's cooled down, I think we just got to get as much heat into the tyres as we can before lap 1.
And one last question I did want to ask you. We saw you go out late in that qualifying session, then you had a slight moment down at turn 4, ran it a bit wide. Was that just seeking a bit more, I guess, information on the tyre, or was it a bit of a gust of wind that caught the rear end out?
Look, I think I was up in my best time going into turn 4, and just tried to send it in because I knew I needed a few more tenths to try and catch Damien.
All right, Enzo, good luck for this race.
Thank you.
So, Sam, that's your front row we've just had a chat to. I've lost you round behind me at the moment. There we are, straight behind me in position number 4.
I've got our championship leader here, Jim Policina. Jim, great to see you again. Strong qualifying this morning. What are your thoughts heading into the race?
Look, starting off the second row, it's going to be tight. I mean, the top 4 cars are all pretty close. So we just have to get amongst it and see who can manage the tyres best to get to the end of the race. So, you know, I'm racing Enzo. He's second in the championship, so I don't want to lose too many points to him. So I'll finish in front of him. That's the plan. So we'll push hard and we'll race hard.
Absolutely. Just having a look at your cockpit here and the mix of different gauges, the different settings and things you can play with. You're obviously quite confident at this QR circuit. We haven't raced this series here before at QR. What is it about this circuit that you like most?
Well, this circuit's big on brakes, so if you're the last of the late breakers, you tend to do pretty well here. Yep. So, you know, it's great from that point of view. It's also great when they do the night races here too. They do a few QRs in the dark, which I've done a number of, and they're a lot of fun. But, yeah, it's a good little circuit. It's more technical than people make out to be. You know, it looks very basic, having you turn right, then left. Yep. But it's a little bit more complicated than that, so it's quite technical. So it's an enjoyable circuit to race on.
It's great to get your thoughts so close to the race. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, very welcome, mate. Appreciate it.
All right, Cam, we'll go over to you.
Yeah, no, I'm right behind you, mate, because we're gonna have a bit of continuity here. We talked about a driver with tyres up to burn, and I think he's sitting over here in position number 3 as well. So Sam Wyatt over here, we'll have a quick chat with you. Now, we saw you pull the pin on qualifying slightly early. A bit of a strategy call to save some tyres for the race?
Well, that's a bit of the plan. Yeah, I don't want to burn them all out too early. And they were getting a bit hot, so I knew I couldn't get a better number than what I got. So happy with where I'm sitting. And I've got reasonable tyres, so it should be hopefully a good run.
Well, we've been talking to some of the team from the technical side of things at Ferrari, and they've said watch out for you because of the tyre advantage, but also you showed great pace through qualifying and practice too. You must be going in with a level of confidence.
Yeah, no, it's a little bit of confidence. I only did, in the pre-practice, I only used tyres, and I was a little bit behind, and hopefully I got a reasonable number when I put the new tyres on, which seemed to be okay. So I'm up here with the other guys like Hamilton and Enzo, so it's good.
So second row of the grid, you've got that inside spot. That's actually critically important for turn 1 down here. Launch mode, or at least your starting procedures, you're feeling confident?
Yeah, well, hopefully I can stay behind Hamilton and keep the others out. It'll be good.
There you go, you heard it here. Good luck for the races coming up, Sam. I know you might be actually a 1 spot behind me on the grid. We'll head on down. So row 2 now we've had a chat to. That battle will be very hot and heavy early on.
Yeah, Cam, look, this is one of the more interesting, I guess, angles in terms of this series. This is, I guess, a development series as drivers improve, and a big part of their improvement comes down to the driver coaches. We've got Lachlan Maneve. Now, this is the great row to be on because they're both your drivers. What's your role this weekend?
Yeah, it's I'm working as a driver coach to both David Chuen and Masahiro Taguchi here. They're at the, obviously, third row here, and they're both at the front of their class, the Copper Shell class, at 1-2 here. Yeah, I mean, they're doing an exceptional job, and, you know, it's a very intense day. You know, there's only 1 practice session straight into quali and straight into a race. So, you know, obviously with the format of this weekend, it's important that we're giving important, concise information to the drivers, and they've done a great job. So
these guys obviously know their way around a car, but what kind of information are you imparting to really get that little bit extra out of them?
Yeah, I guess the gents are really experienced with the cars. You know, this is now race 9 for Ferrari Challenge over, you know, last year and this year, and I guess a lot of the info is track specific. You know, I'm fortunate to have done a lot of racing here, and it's, you know, it's just the 1%ers, right, that are you know, just that little bit of help that you can give the driver is important. And you know, the margins show that in qualifying. You know, we're not even a second off pole. We're only 8 tenths off, and you know, we're you know, 6th. So it's really close. So yeah, I mean, helping the guys has been great, and I really enjoy it.
I'll let you go give your last bits of advice. Thank you so much for your time.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Cheers.
We've just had the 5-minute warning shown, so we might start walking our way back up towards the front of the grid. You can see 14 cars down behind us. They move into race start procedure mode right now. Let's go through some of the numbers. 30 minutes plus 1 lap will be the racing journey. We talked about, you heard every single driver we just spoke to then talk about how technically difficult this circuit is.
Yep.
You heard Steve Wyatt say, I'm going to tuck straight in behind Hamilton, because turn 1, 2, two right-handers, they have an advantage being on the inside of the track.
Absolutely, and because those two right-handers are so open, I'm expecting to see a lot of the field condense at turn 3. I think that turn 3 on lap 1 could be bedlam. We don't know what's going to happen. We have quite a speed differential between the front of the field and the rear, so I cannot wait to see what plays out in the first couple of laps.
Steve Wyatt versus Jim Politina. We've got Enzo on the front against Damien. These drivers will be where the outright pace is, where the outright run is, but I can't help but cast my mind back to what we've seen in qualifying and practice. I think it's a race with the front two, with Jim Politina trying to get past Wyatt early and then hoping something happens between these two, because they've been clear on pace. I really expect it to be a battle of the front row.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there, Cam. The other complexity to take into account here, Enzo Chang, Jim Politina are 1 and 2 in the championship. They've got to consider that in the back of their mind. This is round 4 of 5 in this championship all around Australia. This could be the guy with nothing to lose.
One thing I'll leave you with before we go up to Ren, then I'll head up to the commentary box. Swing around with me, because look at this. Behind us is race control. But what I love about the Ferrari Festival, our safety car, Sam, what sort of car would you have at a Ferrari Festival?
Oh, a Ferrari, why not? 849 Testarossa. This is the new 774 kilowatt flagship. And of course, it's the safety car this weekend.
It is the Ferrari Festival, Queensland. The clock is about to tick down. We will start the outlap very shortly. I'm getting excited. You're going to be in pit lane. Right now, though, let's go up to a man who's involved in organising all this. Renato, take us through that grid.
Thank you, Cam. Thank you, Sam. Yeah, great wrap there with the drivers, and it's great to get some feedback from them on the grid, really sort of amping up what's going to be coming through. So we've got some qualifying highlights here that I'll talk you through ahead of the start of this race 1 for round 4 of Ferrari Challenge Australasia Trofeo Pirelli. The cars got out on grid very early on there. We've got the 256 car of Stephen Coe kind of getting first off the out of the gate, setting some times. But Jim Politina was really the first to really light up the timing screens for us in the session. Enzo Cheng, though, not far off the pace there. And David Trewern in Copper Shell really pushing hard early on to secure himself a very promising time there for the Copper Shell Club, putting it on provisional pole. Emil Norden very close behind, and Enzo Cheng, of course, he was the man to watch in qualifying. We're seeing if he could really close the gap to Damien Hamilton towards the end of the session, but that little spin that he had right on the second run of the new tyre really affected him. When Damien came in for tyre pressures, that's what we're all looking to see if he could go any quicker. Eventually, when exiting the pits, he got to a 108.7, which is an awesome time, putting him on provisional pole midway through the session there, which no one else could get close to. Very busy out on track with the cars, with both Trofeo Pirelli Copper Shell and the Trofeo Pirelli 488 cars. Traffic causing a few issues for some of the guys trying to set times early on the tyre, but as we saw, guys like Steve White of the 77 car coming out mid-session, conserved his tyres. Filippo Zanier mentioned it as well. It's something that we've seen quite a lot from the strategy of Steve. I think that's going to really play into his hands for the race, and one to watch. Enzo pushing as hard as he possibly could to try and get that bonus point back from Damien Hamilton in qualifying, but couldn't get the car to really hook up for him towards the end of the session. And that man there, number 14, Damien Hamilton, putting the car on pole. A really promising lap time there. He was very happy with it. But Jim Politina, though, in car 7, still leading the championship on points as we head into race 1 this afternoon.
Well done, Renato Loberto, Cameron Vandendungen in the commentary box, and we'll also have Sam Charlwood down in pit lane, not far away from the green flag, and we'll start on a rolling lap out there. 3 different classes of car out there on track, and great to see that they line up essentially alongside each other, certainly in the Trofeo Pirelli and the Copper Shell categories. So row number 3 and row number 1, they're going head to head. Great to see. You can feel the anticipation. I don't know if you felt it up here, but definitely down on the grid, there is a level of nervousness of that front row, which always bodes well for racing.
Absolutely. I mean, and they were all seeming quite calm in it, but you could all hear the way in which they were responding. They all have a job they need to do on this first lap. It is really going to come to head in these first sort of, couple of corners of this race as the safety car now pulls away. That 1,050 horsepower hybrid V8 twin turbo, fantastic car to have as a safety car.
Well, it's lovingly referred to as the paperclip here at Queensland Raceway. It may look short in nature, but it's extremely complex when it comes to putting a lap together, not only in qualifying, but particularly in racing trim. 6 corners. The inside of the circuit, turn 4 and 5, are the ones where we saw most of the action earlier today in qualifying, so watch out for them. They've got a tailwind heading down the front straight, which means the run to turn 4 is also a slightly difficult or tricky task to navigate. Getting tyre temperature and pressure into a window is critically important as well, Renato. But this wind, I think the ambience dropped, the UV's lower, and the wind is not gusting as much. So probably better conditions than we saw through qualifying.
Yeah, and I think if they were on green tyres, there would definitely be potential for a faster lap than we saw in qualifying in these conditions. But the key thing probably for me, and I spoke to a few of the engineers and coaches about this with their drivers, is this is a lot shorter lap than we're used to running with Ferrari Challenge. So you've got 1 lap to get everything up to temperature and only 6 corners basically. So we've really got to get these guys, as you can see, being quite aggressive before lights go out as they come down towards turn 4.
Official grid on your screens now. Damien Hamilton starts on pole. He's been fast through practice and qualifying, and he'll be hoping to get through turn 2 first on this first lap as well. Enzo Cheng starts alongside him. Steve Wyatt right behind Damien Hamilton, has plenty of tyres to burn. Jim Pollicina, your series leader, will start out of position number 4. Then we look to the Copper Shell class in position number 5 on track, but pole for that category, David Truern, and alongside him, Masahiro Taguchi. Emil Norden, who has Dean Canto on the radio with him, working with him this weekend. Next to him, Sibai, Hutters, Yu, Tamain, Frisch, Bolden and Co. Your 14-car field. They start to line up side by side. Last thoughts, Renato, before we go green?
I mean, it's anyone's race at this point. We know it's all going to compress down into turn 1 and turn 3. Let's hope they keep their noses clean for a good race, because that 77 car of Steve White's the one I'm going to be putting my money on for the end of this race.
It's round 4 of the series, the Ferrari Challenge, but it's the Ferrari Festival Queensland for 2026, and we go racing here at Queensland Raceway. It's a good even start on the front row. I wonder if Pollicina slightly went early before the green flag. Hamilton holds on. Enzo Cheng runs to the outside of turn number 1 and turn 2. He opens the door for Pollicina, who's through, and Wyatt tucks in behind.
That was a great jump by Jim. Obviously, we'll need to see the replay of that. He kind of hesitated for a moment. I think he was worried about losing the space that was created between the 2 cars, but tucked his nose back in and sort of, as we say, hung Enzo out to dry at turn 2. A classic kind of experience move here at Queensland Raceway.
He went early. They're moving around in the back of the pack, more midfield. That's the 88 of Sibal.
And he's not qualified too well, Adnan, but he usually has really good race pace. So I expect to see him try and chip his way through the Copper Shell guys to get forward. But that battle between David Truern and Masahiro Taguchi, Truern with pole now has put the car within 5 points of championship lead for his class.
We've got one spinner.
Oh, that's Norden in car 100, Emil Norden there. He's going to have some work to do now catching up. We're interested to see if we can get a replay of what's actually happened there. That was turn 4.
Yeah, it was the exit at turn 4. So he's outbraked himself, lost the rear end, I think. We'll find as Hamilton leads the first lap. This is a timed race, 30 minutes plus 1 lap. Hamilton from Pollicina, Enzo Cheng, and then Steve Wyatt, your top 4. Leading Copper Shell is Truern, Hutters right behind him. And then Sibai back in 7th, Taguchi in 8th, Yu in 9th, before we see the TP4 category leader in Tamain. He was very happy at the end of qualifying. He lowered his fastest theoretical by half a second. Exceptionally quick lap.
And these, talking to engineers just before this race as well, getting a class from these sort of over 230 k's an hour of Emax down the back straight here. So it really does compress the braking zone into turn 3 and into turn 6, which are our 2 sort of major stops here on this lap. What we do find as well with these cars, they do have a fly-by-wire ABS system, which is programmable. So they do have the ability to kind of give themselves a more aggressive or less aggressive brake based on tyre wear. So there's a bit to manage with their coaches and engineers over this 30-minute race.
Well and truly in the control of Damien Hamilton right now this race. Enzo Cheng getting held up behind Jim Pollicina. So it's levelled out now. We can breathe for a second as they go into a bit of tyre conservation. Let's watch the replay of the start. And there's the move from Jim Polisina. Well, almost like he went early, and you're right, he held out of it and waited for the spot. It looks like the job was done by Hamilton, who squeezed Enzo out early on the entry to turn number 1. This is the move up at turn number 4. We're watching the background for the spin.
Amos's run wide in the sort of dirty wide section there on the way into the marbles. Lucky to not fully loop the car and kind of still maintain control and jump on the back of the grid there.
So Emil Norton, that driver who's now running 14th, so he rejoins and is out on track, but dead last of our runners. We watch now Jim Polisina being hunted by Enzo Cheng. Enzo Cheng was a Copper Shell driver last year. When he first came to our attention, he's progressed to Trofeo Pirelli this season, and he's in the hunt for the series.
And it's interesting, that 77 car I mentioned to Steve White sort of dropped 4/10 on those front 3 cars on the first lap. But I think this battle that's going to unfold here between Enzo and Jim is going to allow Steve to just comfortably catch up without working those tyres, which are 6 or 7 laps fresher than his nearest competitor.
Look at the gap now, it's over 2 seconds. He's pulling out about 7/10 a lap at the moment. Is Damien Hamilton, your race leader. He was clear of the field by, it was about 2 or 3 tenths in practice. It was 3 tenths in qualifying, so we know he's got outright pace. The best chance was really to get him off the start, because right now he's eking out an advantage that's significant, 2.3 seconds now.
And that move at turn 1 and turn 2 we saw as well, like that's easier to do on the first lap, but the cars haven't got all that energy in them in the middle of a corner at race speed. We can see that great footage there of the 131 car of Mark Hutters, just how aggressive those bumps have now become for a GT car through turn 1. It really does kind of make it a one-line corner almost in terms of setting yourself up for an overtake.
It was quite smart from Damien Hamilton to drive Enzo wide, and that opened the door for Polisina, who held back, wondering what would happen out in front. Enzo now starting to show the nose slightly. This is the move up to turn number 6, the final turn here at Queensland Raceway, and you can see Wyatt joining him, but look who else is there. 127 of Trewern, the leader of Copper Shell, and he's buying a ticket to the race with Steve Wyatt, Enzo Cheng and Polisina for a spot on the outright podium.
And he's doing a great job there, you know, just sort of solidifying his class pole position there and just making sure he keeps some margin between him and that next car, Mark Hutters, who's really turned the wick up. Now, he didn't have the best run in qualifying. I think he kind of didn't really show his hand in terms of the pace he had, and probably, you know, got a bit of a pep talk from his coach in the in-between after looking at some data, and sort of has found his fizzle again, because he's definitely now sort of closing in and putting some pressure on the back of that 127 car of Trewern.
So we see the gap at 3 seconds now, and Wyatt ever closer to the back of Cheng. Cheng needs to make a move soon as Hamilton sets another purple through the middle sector. He's off in a race of his own right now. Still 22 minutes plus 1 lap remaining. So plenty of time to go. And you wonder, is he just putting his tyres to the torch a little early in this race?
And also watching, I can see here Jim exiting there, didn't use any of the exit curb. Enzo a little bit, but Damien's taking a foot of curb through there, through turn 5 and 4. He's really working the car and the chassis a lot harder than these guys are to get the pace. And, you know, it's still 21 minutes to go. If somebody does have a spin and it does bring out a safety car, he will have used up all of his good tyre and then be really under pressure from the guys behind. So he may need to just manage that gap a little bit more. I'm sure his coach, Steve White's going to be in his ear, trying to, you know, keep him in the zone, but also pull him back a little bit to try and reserve the car a little bit towards the end of this race.
The voice of experience there, Renato Loberto. He's worked with Ferraris for how many years now?
I think 16 or 17 years, Cam.
So if anyone's going to read a race, technically it's going to be Ren. In the meantime, Sam Charlwood, what do you got for us?
Well, guys, we just mentioned Damien Hamilton. We've got his driver coach here, Steve White. Tell me, like, it's the position you want to be in for this race, but in many respects too, as it gives him a little bit more time to think about what's going on. What's going through his mind at the moment, do you think?
We've worked a lot since the bend at the last round, and we had great speed, we had some great qualifying pace, but we struggled dotting the I's, crossing the T's in the races. So for this race meeting, we're focused on the most important part of the race, and at the moment we're executing. It's great, we're consolidating. So we'll see if we can come home with the biggies.
As his driver coach and as someone that has worked on this stuff, like how rewarding is it to see him executing out there doing what you guys plan to do?
Oh, when you're not in the race car and you're coaching drivers and being at the racetrack, it's just really rewarding. It's so exciting. And if you can't be in the car, this is the next best bit. And to be on comms and the radios and to go through the emotions together and share it with someone that is biting their teeth and getting more experience out there, it's great fun.
We know that he's on fresher rubber. He's built a bit of a buffer. What's the plan now for the rest of this race?
I'm actually just going down to the team now to make sure that we just consolidate and look after the car, look after the tyres. There's no point doing qualifying lap after qualifying lap at the moment because we're not being challenged. So the most important part is just to keep him concentrating and being consistent with his lap times.
It's great to get your thoughts. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, guys.
I think he's channeling our broadcast coverage, Steve White. Great to hear him down there. That's the exact thoughts we had. In the meantime, though, Steve White is turning up the wick. I watched Enzo Cheng just go defensive. I think that was at turn 3 where he had to cover off a hard-charging Steve White. But you heard then Steve White said the exact same thing that we were thinking. No point going so hard early in the race. Hold it at about a 4-second, 3.5-second margin and back off. Take the temp out of the tyre. Give yourself something to fight with later in the race. Hey, look at this. Another one of our class leaders.
Ross Tamain, he's clean swept every round this year. He's on track to be the first driver to clean sweep everything in Ferrari Challenge Australasia. Lovely guy, local boy as well from the Gold Coast. But he loves throwing the car out. I said, Ross, it's awesome for TV, but just save your tyres, do it in race 2. But you can see the 488 glowing front rotors we get during the day. They are a slightly different compound to the newer 296 Challenge rotors and pads. So yeah, during broad daylight we do get those glowing rotors. There was some amazing photography that came out of the bend with Ross's car as well. But he's just a fantastic guy, and rumour has it, with his driver coach Sam Brabham, we're trying to line up a test in a 296 because he's sniffing it going into 296s next year because he's enjoyed the 488 so much this year.
Listening to him in the stop area after qualifying, he was a very happy driver, was Ross Tamain. We're back to this battle with Jim Pollicina holding out Enzo Cheng and Steve Wyatt. This is the battle over second spot
and if
on the podium.
If we stay green, Cam, Steve White here could be the saviour for Damien Hamilton. Him turning up with the pace that he's got and the tyres he's got could well slow Enzo and Pollicina down enough. Big move to the outside here. This is good though. This is going to line Steve up against the run for the run now the inside into turn 4. And I think he's going to have the legs to do this. It's whether Enzo gives him the space to sort of pull the move off.
He's giving him room. He's giving him more room than you would have, Red.
But that might be just sizing him up as well. He's obviously, he knows he was there. So Steve's probably just putting the feelers out to see how keen Enzo is on getting involved in this at this point of the race. Steve's been around this game a long time, and to pull 6/10 out of these guys in one lap means he's got the pace there and he's waiting to use it.
He is biding his time, isn't he, Steve Wyatt? Enzo Cheng used a lot of tyre through turn 4 and 5, running a high line. And Steve White biding his time. Jim Pollicina looking in the mirror, smiling, going, I don't have to fight too hard when Steve Wyatt's throwing darts at the car in front of him.
And you could even see exiting the final turn at turn 6, Enzo was conservative. He had a car width on the exit of the track. He's obviously watching behind him quite a bit now and really kind of worrying about what's happening behind rather than what's happening in front. And I think that is going to play into Jim's hands, but most importantly, our race leader, Damien Hamilton.
Hamilton's out to 7.6 seconds. They've actually lost nearly a second this lap alone to the leader. So Damien Hamilton is off to the races. He's almost going to be in the showers before they've got 2 laps to go.
And Pollicina, just looking at my notes here from the qualifying session, Pollicina's got the most laps on any car on tyres, 22.
Big move, Wyatt up the inside at turn 4. He sized him up the lap before, but Enzo Cheng fires it back around the outside. He gets through in turn 5. And just like that, you watch how technically difficult. You take in one corner, you've got to give in the next. Enzo Cheng parks it on the inside of turn number 6. And Steve Wyatt has to find another way past.
But he did. You could see he sized it up that lap before. So but what he probably hasn't anticipated is how we know how low the grip is and how off camber the exit of turn 4 is. He had the overlap there to work with, but obviously there just isn't the grip that he needs to get the drive off the middle of that turn 4 corner to make it stick by 5. So he's going to have to work out now another way. He's got Jordan Love in his corner as his coach. He's going to have to work out another strategy maybe on where he can get past him.
We'll stay with this for a minute. We'll come to you soon, Sam, because Steve Wyatt is sizing up Enzo Cheng again. Enzo Cheng a bit of a wiggle under brakes. Steve Wyatt ranges up onto the back of him. He'll have another go at turn number 4. So we're through turn 3. He's lost a bit on the exit there. Cheng's got a good run out. Having a look at Pollicina.
And you can see that real big heavy brake for White there really pitched the car forward, which sort of takes a bit of weight and sort of grip off the rear axle on the drive out then. Like we just saw then with Enzo Cheng there, a bit of a slide on exit. So they're going to start to be playing with 14 minutes to go. They're going to start to be playing with their ABS and traction control to try and maximise the grip they're feeling in both braking and acceleration for these tyres.
All right, we're through for another lap onto the pit straight. Time to check in with Sam Charwood.
Guys, it's hard to know where to look here. Real dogfight playing out either side of Enzo Cheng. We've got his driver coach, Ben Porter. That was a nice little defensive move, Did you see that?
Yeah, look, he's doing a pretty good job at the moment. He's obviously trying to make position and maintain position at the same time. So he's got his work cut out. I think it could go to any of these 3 drivers who are all driving really, really well. All have their strengths and weaknesses, but right now I think Jim's on the ropes. It looks like he's just managing to keep them behind.
I mean, if you could communicate with Enzo now, what would be your message? How long does he sort of hold position for?
Yeah, look, I mean, I've been racing for a lot of years, but there's no magic formula here. He's just got to not give anything away to Stephen under brakes and really just put the pressure on, keep the pressure on Jim to force a mistake.
And how influential are the tyres going to be in the last few laps of this race?
Look, Jim's got a habit of using them up, and he certainly used a lot of the tyre during qualifying. But looking at the attitude of Enzo's car, I think we're probably struggling in that department ourselves. So anyway, time will tell.
Great to get your thoughts. Thanks so much, Ben.
Thanks, sir.
Back to you guys.
Interesting insights there from Ben Porter, a driver that came to the attention of the motorsport fraternity through Formula V racing. Spent more time though in sports car racing and a lot of time in Asia. Very wise head on his shoulders. What was interesting out of that comment, though, was something we've noted, and that is how much stronger under brake Steve Wyatt is than Enzo Cheng, and he made a call, the same thing we've seen. Cheng's tyres are going away, so it's going to be a difficult last 13 minutes.
Oh, Enzo there, great move. He saw an opportunity with Jim Pollicina. Jim's obviously struggling with these tyres now. We know that you can see black lines on the outside of turn 3 there as he exits, but now this is the opportunity where Enzo's going to have to push his tyres to gap Jim. Steve's got to get this move done in the next 3 or 4 corners on Pollicina, I think, to really make it work. We've seen how strong Steve's car is under brakes, the 77 car. He's now got to try and make this work to get past him to really close that gap on Enzo Cheng.
Enzo Cheng carried a lot of corner speed through turn 4 and turn 5, and he's compromised here under brakes. Jim Pollicina's got a run on him through turn 6. He's tucked in the slipstream. Steve Wyatt needs to stay within striking distance. Look at the bumps as they move around. That's unsettling the car of Jim Pollicina. Enzo Cheng didn't bite.
And for me, this is turn 3 here. This is Steve's opportunity here. He's having a tussle with Enzo. He's under the back. He's getting some dirty air. He's got to get the run down the back straight here to try and make it work under brakes, because he needs to latch onto the back of Enzo Cheng at this point.
Target lock engaged for Steve Wyatt. Looks to the inside, sends a message. He's right up the inside. Gives him a little bit of a kiss on the mid part of the corner. And he's through. Steve Wyatt, he gives him another one. I think he wipes his nose on the exit as well. Steve Wyatt said, I need to get through if I want second spot on the podium. And I can't wait another lap.
That looks firm but fair. I think Jim knew he was sort of a bit of fodder at this point in time. He's obviously fighting the car and fighting that grip that he's got there. See a little bit of that body damage at the end there. That's sort of the end dam, we call that, on the front splitter, hanging off. Shouldn't affect the car's performance massively around this sort of circuit where it's a little bit more point and shoot. But you can definitely see that there was some decent contact there between those 2 cars, which no doubt we'll be having a look at in race control as we go through here at the moment.
My read, having spent a lot of time with people in race control, he was alongside. That was fair bump, play on. The one they'll look at is the exit, but I think he will get up. That would be deemed a racing incident from mine. There was nothing malicious in intent.
That's right, and we our driving standards advisor Steve Owen does refer to the driver's mirrors as the overtake point. If you've got the overlap there, you've got the corner, and he will see coming up the inside, Enzo Cheng first from that corner. It's obviously Jim's, you know, they've realised that's Jim's sort of susceptibility is breaking into that heavy brake there. He doesn't have the same tyre under as the other, so Enzo has slipped through with not much margin either in that first run there. And here we see the exact same thing the next lap. Steve's identified the issue, come alongside, just got the nose up to that mirror. I think he's probably caught Jim a little bit by surprise being a left-hand drive car. Not quite sure what happened on the exit there, but I agree with you. It looked like he was alongside. Very, very close but fair sort of position they gave each other.
So racing continues, 10 minutes plus 1 lap. The gaps come right down, so Steve White did get to a radio very clearly and spoke to Damien Hamilton's, brought him right back. That'll be tyre management right now. 5.5 seconds. He was off to the races. I think he was doing a 109. Yeah, he's at a 109.8 in race trim. Exceptionally quick laps early for Damien Hamilton. Let's look at some of the others in the order. Trewern still holds on to the lead, and that's him there on screen right now for the copper shell category.
And once there's a bit of a gap as well with Hutters, there's a bit of a gap, but they're 8,000ths of a second between them on best lap currently. So those two guys are really running, you know, the same race just with a little bit of gap between them. Ross Domain really putting in a great show there. P11 outright in a 488 car is fantastic, and hunting down Amon Norton at this point in time, which is an awesome drive by Ross. He's obviously done what I've asked him to, is just look after his tyres for race 1 today, and he can do some big power slides like we're known for in race 2 tomorrow. The other one that's been really impressive for me is Mark Hutters, as I said before. You know, he's come back sort of mid-season. He's slotted himself in between that battle between Trewern and Taguchi-san for the championship. As I said at the start, Trewern's closed that championship down to 5 points now, and this race will actually see that that championship shift change by the looks of it if they finish in their current positions.
So Damien Hamilton, your race leader, he's taken the heat well and truly out of it with 8.5 minutes remaining plus 1 lap, 4.7 seconds. I think the peak of the gap was over 8 seconds, as now Wyatt is close enough. He's within striking distance of Cheng in the battle for second spot.
And 4/10 of that last lap. Again, you can see Steve taking what I call cheap time. He's running the car wide on the gentle curves, knowing that he can maximise his run down the back straight. Enzo being quite conservative on those runs on the curbs on the exit, which I think is ultimately affecting his VMAX down the back straight.
Interesting line difference as well, not just on exit, but at corner entry and probably more mid-corner. Interesting that Enzo Cheng almost squares it off, lets it run longer before cutting back in, trying to get on the loud pedal with the car in a straight line as quickly as possible, whereas Wyatt seems more comfortable just leaning on his tyre, and that makes sense. He's got the younger tyre.
And as well, Cam, the traction control on these cars allows you to adjust effectively when it kicks in and how much it does when it does kick in. And I'm sure these two drivers have probably got it close to the same, but you can fine-tune it to the way the driver likes to drive the car. And that style of, you know, slowing fast out that we're seeing Enzo do speaks to the level of the tyre, as you mentioned, but also it can be the way in which they prefer to drive those traction control settings in these cars.
The way that Steve Wyatt is under brakes, I wouldn't be opening the door too much though, would you?
No, you don't even need to invite him. He'll come through, I think, at this stage. He's definitely got the eyes on. I don't think he's going to have time to make a dent on with 7 to go to try and catch Damien Hamilton, but he's certainly going to give Enzo a run for his money here in the closing laps of this race.
So we exit turn number 3. Heading up to the inside of the paperclip now. On screen, you're watching, well, you were watching the battle for second. We now look a bit further down the order. That's the 111 of Molden and the 256 of Steve Coe, one of our other 488 drivers. The 2 in that class. Tamain, we've mentioned a couple of times, but good to see Stephen Coe is running at the back of the field at the moment.
And traffic cam is something we haven't mentioned much in the race, but we have in quali. It's something I'm just sort of doing the maths on now. About 6.5 minutes to go plus 1 lap. Damien Hamilton is going to start getting some lap traffic in the next 2 or 3 laps. There might be a couple of laps here where Damien cops some traffic and slows up, but I just don't think it's going to hand him the benefit that Steve needs to close that big gap there. But certainly for these two, if they catch some lap traffic, it'll give Enzo an opportunity to try and put another car between him and Steve.
Heading up to turn number 3 again. He won't put the move on just here, but he's certainly making his intent known. Enzo Cheng, comfortable to continue to run his high line. Not feeling threatened just yet. All of the pressure now moves over to Steve Wyatt. He has to make the action if he's going to get through. This is the corner where we saw Enzo Cheng have a moment in qualifying. Is he weak through here? Well, Steve Wyatt gets closer. But look at the drive off the corner. That is the advantage of the driving style, the lines that Enzo Cheng is using. He's got the confidence on corner exit, whereas Steve Wyatt on corner entry. Different driving styles, same type of car. And this is what we love about the Ferrari Challenge.
And you can see Steve there kind of trying to show the nose on the inside mid to entry of the corner, with the car sort of over-rotating and sliding a bit, which has affected him on the straight after. It is certainly one of those racecraft things with this circuit where you've got slow corners immediately followed by straights every time, and it's really about maximising the exit to give you the opportunity to attack thereafter.
They'll be earning their San Pellegrino in the Ferrari lounge at the end of this one. Might be something stronger, especially if Steve Wyatt gets through. He started to show the nose again, not able to get the job done. He's closer though, and Enzo Cheng knows it.
And this is about the time, looking at the qualifying usage of the tyres, where Steve's tyres should be significantly better than Enzo's at this point. He had 8 laps less rubber used in qualifying, and this is where it's all going to matter now in terms of holding that position into the end of the race. Steve was our championship points leader at the end of the last round in terms of he scored the most points of any driver in the last round. So we knows how to race and obviously maximise his points per race. He's out there as well.
Enzo Cheng chopped his run through the middle of turn 4 and 5 as well. Smart driving from the relatively inexperienced Enzo Cheng, who's in car 17, position number 2. He knew that Steve Wyatt had the run on him, and we got another spinner just in front of us, the 88.
Adnan Sibai coming through the exit of turn 5 there, thankfully able to regain without causing any issues, and that has actually given a free pass to our race leader Damien Hamilton. One less car he needs to worry about now, trying to get through before the end of the race. Steve Wyatt there, that's where he's trying to get the move done. He's been sizing it up lap after lap. I don't know if he's going to have the run on that tighter line though. Enzo did a fantastic job of parking the car right where he needed to now give himself some little margin to play with here against Steve.
Chops his run again, makes him balk, checks him up on the entry to the corner. Smart move. And that takes away the advantage that Steve Wyatt has. Heads up driving there from Enzo Cheng. With 3 minutes and 1 lap remaining. It's been all these two. A bit of Jim Pollicina, but mainly the 17 versus the 77.
I feel like the 77 car's strength here is turn 6 and turn 2. He's got to try and make something work out of turn 4 or turn 2. And I know that sounds like it's a long way off of this track, but you've got to set yourself up a corner or 2 early, I should say, to make the move work. You need the momentum behind the car to sneak the nose up the inside on the next one. And I think he's starting to sort of work through that. Obviously, Jordan Love there in the corner of Steve Wyatt, Ben Porter in the corner of Enzo Cheng will be starting to work on some of this strategy. Here we go.
Turn 3. He's had the big move up the inside at turn 3. Has he overcooked it? Yes, he has. Enzo Cheng left the door open. Steve Wyatt overcooked it.
That's let Pollicina through as well. Pollicina wrapping up another couple of points there. But that big bump you saw Steve's car take, there was a huge bump on the inside, and I think he's probably made the move slightly too early. He needed to stay left and then move right later in the braking zone, because that really upsets the GT car, braking heavily over that. These cars do have ABS, but it still pushes the car along there. You can see well past the apex of the corner.
And I feel like he just carried his brake marker an extra 10 metres, not even 10 metres, it might have been 10 kilometres an hour into his brake zone, because it was enough early. You could see it. He's just gone too fast into that corner, wasn't able to pull it up, and that might be the end of the battle for the podium, because Hamilton leads by 7.6 seconds back to Enzo Cheng. Jim Pollicina in third, 2.1 seconds, and Steve Wyatt is 1.5 seconds behind Pollicina with a minute and change remaining plus 1 lap.
It really has been a brilliant drive by that 14 car there of Damien Hamilton. He just took command. He said that on the grid. He needed to just get in front and just set his own pace and clear out. He's done a fantastic job. But also Cheng there, you know, he's fresh to racing in the last couple of seasons. Steve White, as we said earlier today, the most capped challenge driver we've had from Australia. It's a lot of pressure he's held on for a lot of laps, and he's just kept his head, you know, smart, clean the whole time. Forced an error in Steve, and he's basically got himself a second place here, which is great.
We're going to see Steve White's true pace right now because he's gone purple in the first sector, green in the second, and he's putting Jim Pollicina to the sword now. He wants that final step on the podium. 33 seconds plus 1 lap. It'll actually be 2 more laps remaining because Hamilton went through. You've heard that before. Through goes Hamilton.
And that little bit of damage we spoke about on the front left there of the front splitter for the 77 car came as a result of some contact with Pollicina as they've gone through before he turned 3. So Jim will be remembering that. Jim's been around the sport for a long time. He's going to make that car very, very wide for the 77 to try and get through.
You think he might wipe his nose back just for him? Say, I'll help you clean up. Is that what you're suggesting, Reed?
Never.
We'll stay with it. This is a battle. So there's Enzo Cheng second. Jim Pollicina behind. Look at Steve Wyatt. Looks to the inside. Big move, and that's big contact with Jim Pollicina. That'll be looked at. That definitely will be looked at, and he's crabbing now. There's damage to the 77 for Steve Wyatt. Damage for Jim Pollicina. And the Copper Shell driver of Trewern might come through and get an outright podium because he's on track to win his class as well. Can Jim Pollicina limp it home? There'll be 1 lap remaining. So you see your race leader, Damien Hamilton. I think we'll talk about the Wyatt-Pollicina contact at the end of this one. Let's follow this race home.
And I don't think Pollicina, if he's worried about the car, I don't think he can lose his P3 at this point in time. Steve White's obviously moving backwards with the damage there on the timesheet, but Sibai is too far back.
It was more the damage to the car I was worried about.
Yes,
the car's looking like he's okay at the moment. Jim Pollicina, your series leader, that would have been disastrous for him. He's managing to nurse the car home. But no matter where you are watching this broadcast in the world, and we say hello for those of you in Italy, we say hello all over Australia, and it's an Australian driver in Damien Hamilton. He's on track for a clean sweep of Saturday at the Ferrari Challenge Pirelli Australasia, Ferrari Festival, Queensland.
I've got to say, looking at the time sheets here, there's one heck of a battle going on between Taguchi, Norden, Sibai and Yu for their position on track as well. They're really close on the time sheets here, and there's a big battle for that bottom step here of the Copper Shell class.
Here he comes to the line. Race 1, round 4 of Ferrari Challenge goes the way of Damien Hamilton in a dominant performance. And you've got to take your hat off to this young driver, Enzo Cheng. He kept his head when others were losing theirs, and he brought that car home in second. And in the background, he's been in the wars, hasn't he? Jim Pollicina, so much experience, and he needed it to get to the line and fill the final spot on the podium. In the meantime, Trewern got through for the Copper Shell, and he wins his class. We wait now for Hutters and Taguchi. And that is how they finish. So the podium of the Copper Shell is Trewern, Hutters and Taguchi. What a race. They've put on a show for us.
Even to the last corner here, number 88, Adnan Sibai having a big last lunge there of the 100 car of Emil Norden. It was a fantastic race at the front of the field, though. I mean, they all gave each other some room. A shame about that contact between Steve White in the 77 and Pollicina in the 7 car. It's a shame to see Steve not finish that race, but again, a fantastic drive by Damien. Can't take it away from him. And Enzo just put on a great show there with a lot of pressure for most of the race.
So Damien Hamilton races out of the Ferrari Richmond dealership. It's his 3rd challenge weekend after Phillip Island and the Bend. He's raced in Thailand and Malaysia, and he had a dominant display here at the Ferrari Festival, Queensland. Round 4 of the Ferrari Challenge Pirelli Australasia. And there are your official Race 1 results presented by Bosch Motorsport. Damien Hamilton is your race winner, 7.8 seconds clear of Enzo Cheng. Jim Pollicina. Then we look to the Copper Shell category. Trewern, Hutters and Taguchi. Norden came home 7th, but 4th in class. Sibai, 4th in his class. Then we look back to you, Baildon, Tamain, the winner in the 488. So he will be very happy to add to his pole position points haul with another class win. And then we look back to Frisch, Coe and Wyatt did not finish. He stopped out on track after contact with a couple of cars, but heavy contact with Jim Policina at turn number 3.
Has been very composed, Damien Hamilton, and around the paddock. Obviously had big expectations on himself for that race, but really did drive a flawless race. He should be super happy with himself after that. Quickest in practice, quickest in quali. Clean sweep of the race. What a good day at sport.
Well, he rolled out a 109.8 in race trim on lap number 6. So lap 6, he's rolling out of a half hour plus 1 lap race. He's gone really, really hard. We heard from Steve White, who's there on camera as well. I better get on the radio and tell him to pull it back. And he did. He listened to his driver coach, rolled out of the throttle, and then at the end was able to dominate with a 7.8 second advantage of the gap. So very smart driving from Damien Hamilton. We didn't see a huge amount of him on our broadcast, but we will hear from him shortly as Steve White's about to give him the prize Pirelli first place hat. Let's go down now to Sam Charlwood.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. We'll let these guys celebrate. What an excellent performance here from Damien Hamilton. You'd argue faultless from start to finish. He controlled this race so well. Damien, hello. Got your helmet off. We're ready straight into it. That looked faultless from where we were standing. How did it feel?
Really good. Just trying to control what I can control and got the position I wanted at the start, and then just manage tyres and manage the laps. So I'm hoping they got into a fight between them and it slowed them down, which
they certainly did. Yeah.
Fantastic.
What's it like when you have that much of a buffer from the guys? Does your mind wander, or are you kind of just focus on the job at hand?
It doesn't wander. I was watching tyre pressures and I was still trying to manage numbers and just sort of make sure it stays in the window, because we only needed a safety car or something bunch us up, and if I've burnt my tyres up with a gap I don't need, still going to manage it. So.
And your driver coach in Steve White, so influential here. What was his message sort of halfway through once you had sort of built a bit of a buffer? Was it just cool your jets a little bit?
I think it was just manage. You can't come off too much, but you needed to. So there was bits where I was pushing a bit more. The tyre temps went up. I backed off a little bit, really protecting for you don't know what's going to happen yet.
Well, good luck for tomorrow, and congratulations for today.
Thank you very much.
We'll move on, guys. We'll go next to the winner of our Copper Shell class, David Truern. Fantastic performance from him as he dons the Pirelli hat. David, hello, congratulations.
Thank you.
How was that?
It was great. Yeah, no, I'd love that. Yeah, it was pretty. Got in there at the start and sort of lost my spot and got it back, and kept on the leaders for as long as I could. Until I got a bit fatigued, but no, I was good. Super happy.
Bit of chaos out there as well, between jostling for positions.
I think I avoided a bit of it except for the start, so I just had to kind of fully commit and get Massa back, and then I had Hutters behind me I was like, who's that? He was giving me a bit of a hard time, so that kept me pushing, and no, it was great. Yeah.
In terms of the start here, because we know that turns 1 and 2 at QR are quite open, and then you jam up pretty close together at turn 3. What was that like first lap?
For me, it was okay, because by the time I got out of 2, I had a bit of space behind me, and I feel really confident going into 3. So I was just braking to not hit the cars in front, and the guys behind me were far enough back that it was all good. So yeah.
First in class, obviously right up in the order as well. What happens tomorrow? You go do a bit of homework on anything tonight? What happens tomorrow?
Well, hopefully it's dry, and then it's all exactly the same all over again. So we'll see. Yeah. So if it's wet, then obviously learn some new skills.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, great to get the thoughts of our drivers here. We'll move on to the winner of the 488 Challenge class as well. Ross Temain, hello again. Yeah, I'm going well, thank you. Congratulations.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, that was good fun.
Yeah. Top of qualifying for class and now right up there in the race as well. How did it feel?
Yeah, it was good. Certainly it's a little bit longer when it's a race, so your tyres go off after around halfway point, but we're working a lot on that strategy and sort of the mitigation and the management of tyres, so I'm enjoying the process, yeah.
When you talk about managing tyres, is it reducing those big braking moments, or what are you doing to sort of conserve them?
I would say it's probably lateral load through the high-speed turns, so if I can take a bit of load off the front of the car, it seems to give me more front tyre towards the end of the race.
And you really defied expectations with what you're able to do in qualifying. Was it same with sort of your race pace then?
It was okay.
Yeah.
I'm pretty hard on myself.
Yeah. Well, look pretty good from our end. Thank you so much for your time, and boys, we'll go back up to you.
Thanks, mate.
Loving it. He's got the rockstar look going on as well, doesn't he? The sunglasses on. He wasn't overly happy with his race, but let's look at the race highlights, and it was Jim Policina that was the early mover. He tried to get to the lead by the start-finish line, and Just out of screen there, Damien Hamilton ran Enzo to the high line, which allowed Jim Pollicina to get through. Steve Wyatt was fighting his own battle behind them, just trying to hold on to position, and he played more of a part in the story later in the race. It was Jim Pollicina v Enzo Cheng for at least the first 5 or 6 laps of that one, and it allowed Damien Hamilton to absolutely gap them.
And you could hear what he said. He obviously had a lot more pace in that car than he was showing at the start of it as well, because he was saying he was able to turn the wick up and down as he needed to try and maximise his tyre pressures. These cars have got live tyre pressure and telemetry data on the dashboard, so not only do the engineers know what's going on, but the drivers do too. So Damien's obviously got a very good grasp of the car around here to be able to kind of be watching that data and setting quick times. But as we said, that race on there in that mid-pack with Steve Wyatt was fantastic. Ross Tavain there that took the 488 Trofeo Pirelli trophy for today, just drove a faultless race with some great times. I think he'll do really well in the 296s.
This was the first of the move. Steve Wyatt threw it up the inside at turn number 4, but it was immediately overrundered by Enzo Cheng. And then Enzo Cheng realised he needed to put a move on Jim Pollicina soon, because Steve Wyatt was not waiting for anyone. And he lined him up. Enzo Cheng got the job done on their run into turn 3. There was contact there, and Jim Pollicina didn't know what to expect, because he copped it a couple of times at the exact same point of the circuit.
At that time, Cam, I actually didn't notice the first time watching that during the race. Jim did have a little bit of a wiggle mid-corner there, so as you said, there might have been a bit of contact, but he definitely gave Enzo some space. And this time through the lap after, when Steve poked the nose in, there was a little tap there which we saw sort of get alongside them, but then here it's this chop across the front. Was very, very close to obviously try and push Jim back a little bit, but we saw that damage to the front of Steve's car kind of for most of the second half of the race here, clearly not affecting his performance.
And Enzo Cheng just kept chopping the run of the 77 whenever he got into the advantage spot, like right there in between turn 4 and 5. He just propped him up, held him up, because he knew he had the advantage on corner exit. He left the door open. That was the lap before the big move. That was when we knew that Wyatt was going to try and send it he did, but he sent it too hard. And Enzo Cheng went, "I'll see you later, mate." And off he went into the distance.
And you could see for this lap and the other lap for Jim just how little grip is on that wide line there at turn 3 as well. If you're able to squeeze a car out, you can see over that big bump, they came together here, quite a big hit. You can see Jim's car barely able to turn with the grip that's on the outside there. Left rear control arm looks like it's broken on Steve's car. He's done well to limp it further away and basically let the race go to the flag without needing a safety car as well. But Damien Hamilton, just an absolutely faultless race, and he's obviously the benchmark at the moment in terms of the 296 Challenge car.
Unbelievably quick throughout that entire race. Enzo Cheng, I think you have to give a big round of applause to. It was a very smart drive from him. I look back and go, Enzo Cheng leaving the door open, allowing Steve Wyatt to run long was the heads-up drive. Jim Pollicina turned in. Steve Wyatt overcommitted. That was why the contact happened. It could have just as easily happened to Enzo Cheng. Great race, though. Wonderful race. And it's only Saturday. We've got a whole other day to go tomorrow. We're not far away now from the podium, though, for the Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli. And the podium will be with Sam Charlwood. We will continue to bring on our broadcast all of the information relating to this. So we'll see each of our classes up on the podium. I really love the fact that Ferrari's come back to do the Ferrari Festival again. There was chat about whether they would do it last year, and the fact that we're back again and we're doing it in Queensland. Hats off to you, Ren, and the team that have put it together.
Thanks, Cam. It's a huge effort. There's a massive amount of people involved in doing this. Filippo Zanier, who's here from Italy, obviously be a big part of sort of bringing this series to Australia and the local Ferrari Australasia team. But to come to Queensland Raceway and do it and have such a big crowd turn out today with this fantastic weather, you know, what better way to celebrate Ferrari?
As you were sort of with your headset on and watching this all build to a race, when you looked in and saw that grid walk, or the pit walk, the pit lane was full. Yes. That must have given you a nice warm feeling inside that so many of our wonderful fans are here to celebrate the mark that is Ferrari.
Yeah, and I've been trying to talk to as many people as I can to kind of understand, you know, the people that are here to see the event. And there's people and families that are here that have never seen a Ferrari in real life on the road. You know, this is the first time they're seeing them. They're able to walk in the pits. Our safety car driver was getting people to sit in the car and kind of sit in the car for the first time, which is fantastic.
Damien Hamilton.
So we're hearing in the background there Sam Charlwood doing our podium. Damien Hamilton, this is your Trofeo Pirelli your outright, your fastest cars and fastest drivers on track, and your podium there. I also must add that I saw Dean Fiore here, who's raced in supercars and Carrera Cup more recently and lots of different things. He's brought his kids out to the racetrack, and one of his sons had barely been to a racetrack before.
Yeah, that's cool.
He's been doing some karting, but decided to bring him out to a proper race meeting, and he couldn't drag his son out of here. They were loving it so much.
I mean, that's the best thing about what I've seen for this event, as well as it being a free but ticketed event, so anyone can turn up. It doesn't cost you an arm or leg at the moment to kind of go to a racetrack and have a great day out, but also the amazing cars the Ferrari Owners Club are here. There's a huge range of old and new models on display, but more so the access to the garages as well. It's inclusive rather than exclusive. People can walk into the back of the garages. They're sort of showing them in pit lane. It's just a fantastic way to, I guess, get a whole bunch of new people into motorsport as well.
There's been a giveaway for a hot lap in a car as well. There's sims that the Next Level Racing guys have got some pretty cool sims down there. I hear Ferrari owns the one that I had my eye on.
Oh, yes,
so just watch out. It might be in the back of my RAV4 that I've got as a rental this weekend already. But so much to do, and if those that are watching on and joining us via KO or via the YouTube channel all around Australia, particularly those that are in Queensland, in and around Brisbane, we encourage you to come out tomorrow. How do you do it, Ren? If someone is watching our broadcast on KO right now and says, you know what, let's take the kids out to a free event at Queensland Raceway, how do they do it?
Easiest way is to jump onto the Eventbrite website, search for Ferrari. It'll come up as an event there, free ticket purchase, and away you go. There's no hidden charges, no hidden costs, free parking on site, and as we said, access to everything here. There's no sort of elevated ticket price. You can get access to everywhere. You can see the whole circuit here at Queensland Raceway, and it really is an awesome way to kind of come and see some amazing cars racing.
There's our Copper Shell podium. Truern, Hutters, Taguchi in first, second and third. Well done to them, and that's also what I love about this. This is genuine class racing. It's not about a secondary consideration. They are a category in their own right. They just happen to share the track at the same time with another class.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, that's an awesome result for David Truern. I mean, he's been working very hard with Lockie on sim work and testing and those sort of things, but also for me, Mark Hutters to jump back in the car and practice. He sort of, this morning he didn't sort of seem to have it click together. Quali, he stepped it up a little bit, but really in the race, I think Mark Hutters is back. He's really sort of reset the pace there, matching the pace of Truern and Taguchi-san, and obviously having a good race for them to the end of the flag and showing good respect. It's what we really like to see in the Copper Shell class.
And take us through the 488 category as well. I know Ross Tremaine, he dominated that one. We saw Stephen Coe out of Ferrari Richmond also in the race. There's two cars that were in there, so they're both on the podium, but it's a feeder really into that next step, that Copper Shell category. And the chat that Ross Tremaine may make the step, the fact that he said in that post-race stop area interview, I wasn't happy with my race after what we saw in qualifying, I think that's a fair sign he's interested in going on with his racing.
That's right, and his coach is Sam Brabham. There's a lot of work they're doing, so setting sort of different goals. Obviously, if he's got the pace to be at the front of his category, but Sam's trying to get him to work on, you know, a standard deviation, the variation from his fastest lap throughout a race to try and manage the tyre, manage the car, manage his lap pace, and I guess mentally prepare himself for the quicker cars. But most importantly for Ross, he's having an absolute ball doing it, as is Steve Coe there. You know, these two guys high-fiving, and, you know, it's really good attitude in the pits, but it is, as you say, it is effectively a feeder series for us now. It is a slightly older generation car, but it's still a twin-turbo V8, Cam. It's still 600 horsepower GT car on slicks with aero. It's a fantastic car to drive.
Throwing elbows against other race car drivers on places like Queensland Raceway. But you can feel it even with the drivers when he's talking about fastest theoretical stuff that we've kind of grown up with. But people that are coming into the sport, when you get hooked in the data, it becomes addictive.
Yeah,
as we look at the official results now, and you can see the classes by the colours. So the outright, the Trofeo Pirelli winner, Damien Hamilton from Enzo Cheng, Jim Pollicina, and we then look to the Copper Shell category. The class there from position 4, 5 and 6. So first, second and third for them. Truern, Hutters and Taguchi. We saw them up on the podium. Well done to Norden. Well done to Sibai. Two of our other drivers that fought right to the line. You, Bailden, Tremaine, Frisch, Coe and Wyatt, who put on a great show and unfortunately ended up coming back into the pit lane on the back of a truck. He'll hopefully be back together and out racing again tomorrow. What a wonderful first day. As I said before, it's been a big journey to get to this point, but we're still only part way through the journey. Round 4 we're at right now. We've got round 5 at Sydney Motorsport Park coming up on the 18th to 20th of September. So a bit of a gap there. Thank you, Renato Liberto, for joining me on the coverage today. We'll see you tomorrow. Well done to Sam Charlwood. Well done to everybody behind the scenes in putting this together. We've had a great day. For those of you watching in on KO Sport, YouTube, wherever you are, this is only halfway done. We've got so much more to see and do tomorrow. That was just the entree to the main course. Join us here tomorrow, Queensland Raceway. And if you are anywhere in the Brisbane region, get your free ticket and we'll see you at the track. Until then, stay safe and we'll see you tomorrow for the Ferrari Festival in Queensland.